24 years of an IT, totally with including the finance. IT has been 21 years in Manhattan, New York, and then it's been 13 years in financial field. I've been servicing over 2,000 families over the period of 13 years after moving back to Hyderabad. This is a little bit of myself. Now, how many of you control your business, like finance? So what the idea is, little bit more information. I'm sure all of you know a lot of them, but this session will probably give you a little better idea before and after. Now, how often do you review your personal finance? Do you do it monthly, quarterly, annually? Quarterly, very fantastic. Monthly, oh my God, that's the way to look forward. Rarely or never. Maybe were at some point in our life, right? But we don't want to be there now, moving forward. Now, do you budget your finance? Yes and no? Yes? No? Sometimes? Sometimes. Now, have you started planning for your retirement? Now, don't tell me you're not. I'm sure you're all not old, but still. The idea is to start early, right? Yes or no? Right age to start. Why? I'll share you next. The next screen I'll share it why. Now, financial planning. How many of you have done your planning already? Mr. Gopal Krishna says he's there. Muthu says, very good. Fantastic to see that. Very nice. Now, why do you want to do the planning part of it? To cover your expenses, savings, and your investment portfolio, right? So whatever you earn, that's the idea, right? Now, the next more important part of it is, the why you do the budgeting is, because you don't want to cross whatever money you've allocated. If you cross it, if you review it, it'll give you a sense of where you're overcrossing it. Is it required or not? That analysis will help you. All of us have expenses, right? Whatever income we earn, whether it could be your salary, whether it's from your income from business, that portion of it, you have to allocate it properly, right? So this sheet is kind of giving you an overview of what your expenses are. If you look at it here, it's a budget, actual difference. The main part of the household expenses, what you have is the rental, electricity, your telephone expenses. This happens regularly every month, right? Is that right? There are other expenses which happens, but if you start looking at your Excel file, all of us do payment over online or GPay, right? You have a transaction details. So what I suggest is, to start with, analyze your month on month where your expenses are. Some of them would be your subscription also. Do you need it or not? So if you write down in this sheet, it will help you to analyze it. Your auto expenses, which could be your car loan, could be your expenses, gas costs, your living expenses, which could be your purchases on month, which you do, or your grocery expenses. All this, if you kind of analyze it month on month, it'll kind of tell you what is your budget, how much you're spending it, do I need it or not. The main idea to basically focus on your subscription. Some of us have Netflix, we have other things. We may need it or may not need it. So you can analyze and see how am I using it maximum. If you don't need it, basically don't do that expenses. That's an idea. Just review your budget part of it. Now, savings, and we are of course earning our money to live our life. Is that correct? Yes. But is it mean that whatever I earn every month, I have to spend all of them? Not necessary, right? We don't know what the futures are. Whatever we make money out of it, some part of it we have to go into do it savings, which is the investment portfolio of it. Is that right? Now, what is your investment portfolio? What are you going to look at it? It could be investment, could be in your stock, mutual funds, or it could be in your mutual funds, ULIP, real estate, and including gold, or it could be upscaling yourself so that you make more money, or learning yourself, right? That's the growth part of it. Is that right? Is that how we kind of proportionate our things? We'll have that. That slide is covered up in the next part. So there are two types of people when they think of investment. Who's good in Hindi here? Madhu. Madhu will read out the first.
अपने सेविंग को इन्वेस्टमेंट करना कब शुरू करोगे? मतलब ऐसा बिल्कुल इमीडिएटली नहीं सोचे हैं बट सोचेंगे.
And the last part of it, I start investing and then.
मैं हमेशा जब जब जेब में लाइटर रखता हूँ धमाका करने के लिए. Okay. I have a lighter in my pocket for blasting always.
And 30% of it into your wants. This, yeah, which you may need not have to spend, but something which gives us pleasure of doing it. Otherwise, what's the point? You can need not have to spend on that. It could be any of them. So the 30%, it's really not necessary. 50% is absolutely essential. 20% is what you definitely have to proportion. What happens with major portion of the population is, they focus more, they'll forget about the 20% of it. Focus more on the 30% of it. That's where you see your money going in. So the plan in the previous slides, if you look at it, we were talking about how much you earn, budget plan. This will help you. The minute you get the money, you just kind of plan it out and look at your 20% and essential. The 50% is absolutely essential for you to start, for you to live, basically. Now, emergency funds, right? All of us have emergency funds? Yes or no? Yes. And why do you need emergency fund? Why do you need it? Because it's unpredictable, right? We don't know maybe we'll be able to earn, maybe we're not able to earn. Maybe there's unexpected expenses which happens, which could be about your medical expenses, could be a repair to your home, any of those things, right? And now how do you do, for an emergency fund, where do you need to park your money in? Which is not in a risky portfolio, right? Where do you park your money in? Which is more safety and you'll be able to liquidate it overnight. And it could be keeping the money under your mattress or could be your fixed deposit, whichever you can sit on there and 24 hours you should be able to encash it. Now, how much do you need to be able to do this? 6 to 8 months. Let us say your income is almost 10 lakhs. Just an example. The 1 and 0 will be easy to explain it. 6 months of that, you have to keep it aside, minimum. Can all of us predict this happening, emergency? No, right? That's why it's called as an emergency. But we need to have a backup. Before even you start any of the investment portfolio, the first priority to be looked at is emergency fund. And then you start looking at your portfolios.
Don't touch that to buy car or motorcycle.
Yes, all that is second. That is comes under the wants, not the need part of it. That was my previous slides.
Use emergency fund to go for two.
Point to be noted. Absolutely. Not to be, those are all wants and could be not to be used. Now, how do you all have an advisor here? All of you have an advisor whom you work with. Only Muthu has, Manshi has. So most of you have it. So if the rule of thumb, if you have an advisor, it's good. If you don't have it, look for one if you're not comfortable doing it. But I'll explain the next slide what the rules of thumb is. This is just a summary of it. Now, the same example which we were discussing on, let us say you make 1 lakh, right? 1 lakh, just an example, it could be 50,000 or 2 lakhs or whatever it is. First thing on the right hand side, if you look at it, what does it say? Just put in your savings. First, the 20,000 to savings and then start spending the 80% of it. What happens to most of us? We have absolutely. What we do? We have 1 lakh, we spend all the 1 lakh. If something is remaining out of that 1 lakh, maybe we'll do a savings. But there is.
Thankfully, only up to 1 lakh, not your own.
Yeah, hopefully. That scenario also is there. That is also there. That's again putting yourself into financial crunch. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll cover up that also. Now, investment for the longest term possible. Do you all think it makes sense? Is there anything which makes you multinational or earn yourself overnight or even for a year? There is no magic numbers for that, right? So the big money is not in buying or selling, but in waiting and being patient and being consistent. That's where you see the money. You must already know about him, who it is. Now, if you look at after doing all this, where do I invest my money? This is a graph which is basically explaining it to you how the Indian economy in equity investments are. Equity is share market investment. This is a graph. I don't want to go into every details of it. What I want to pay attention is the 20th year. If you look at the return, an average of Indian economy, if you look at it in Nifty, what is the percentage you're earning on an average of? 15%. And over the 20 years, how many times it has multiplied? 16 times. If you see the same thing in US equity, how much is the amount of returns you're getting in? 13.6. What is it number of times? 12.8. And if you see the same thing in gold, which is giving you 8.3, don't go by what you're saying now in the gold price has gone really crazy now. That's not a number to be looked at or a short period of time, less than 5 years. You have to look at more than 10 years. So if you look at 8.3, what the history is telling you, what is the growth rate you're seeing number of times has gone up to? 4.9. Now, if you look at the debt market, which is bonds, things like that, it's coming up to 7.2, which is 4.1. Now, looking at this, which one would you want to go with? Equity. Now, all of us are expert in investing in equity? Not necessarily. So, we'll come into that part of it, the next slides of mine. Now, this is a mantra for asset allocations, right? Equity is the great way to create your wealth. My previous slides is talking about how the percentage, and you've seen the numbers, how it is doing. Gold is for ornaments only, not really as an investment portfolio to be looked at it. Even if you want to do a gold investment, what you need to look is buying a gold ETFs, not really buy a gold for investment. Investment on the gold part of it is just an ornament. Just look at it as ornament. Insurance for production because of uncertainty. Can all of us say that we'll be there all our life? But do we have families who to take care of? Do we have a companies to take care of in case anything happens to us? In that case, you need the emergency fund. For that is the insurance. Absolutely, day one you start. The insurance could be your term insurance, could be your medical insurance also. Income, fixed income for short and regular fixed income, which you need it within a 5 years, you will be putting in that part of it. Real estate, only if you need it for home and office. How many of you think that real estate is the best portfolio of investments? You think of it. You've seen the previous statistics, right? Though in the immediate, within less than 5 years, you feel your real estate investments has gone up, what you need to look at is more than 10 years, 15, 30 years. This is globally, and what I've shown you, the numbers are also India. You can look at it. If you have done any investments of your own portfolios, analyze it over a period of 10, 15 years, you will come up the numbers. Is that right? Do the math. Are you getting a 15% return? That's what you have to look at it. One more thing with real estate, you can't liquidate immediately. Whereas in equity, mutual funds or ULIP, you will be able to do an overnight liquid, more safely over an average period of time. Now, you had a question? Okay. Long term is what you need to look at it. If you have to grow in a longer period, is your investment, all of them are long term or short term? Long term is what we need to look at it. Emergency fund is the only one which is for short term, which is less than 5 years. Now, this is a typical example. How many minutes I've crossed already? If somebody is distracted. Okay. So this is an example. This is an age of a 25 years old person. He's been investing for 5,000 for next 11 years. He stopped investing when he was 35. He's investing every month 5,000. The next example of a Y is age of the person is 40. Investment period is 21, which is almost 10 years more than the X, right? And he stopped investing when he was 60. And his investment is 15,000, 3 times of an X, right? Now, if you look at this number, who will be making more money? X will be making one? Y?
X eventually.
Eventually, you think. Okay, we'll see the numbers also. I have the numbers. What do you see here? Investor X has invested 6 lakhs and 6,000, 6 lakhs and 60,000. And his investment portfolio at the age of 60, how much has come up to? 4 crores and 80 lakhs. Y has invested how much? 37 lakhs, 80,000. And then the value of maturity is how much it is? 2.13 crores. What do you say now? You have to start? The early you start, the early you will earn money. The number speaks by itself. You don't have to do it. This is all, if you can put in an Excel, you will see this number. It's no magic numbers on that. It's all straightforward. So I have given a lot of data in this thing. I will not go into every one of them. I am sure most of you will think it's too much, but let me do a summary out of it. If you're investing, let us say 5,000 for every month. Let us take an example of 15% for 3 years. How much is the amount you'll be earning? 2,24,917. The same 15%, if I do it for 5 years, how much am I earning? Maturity will give you at 15% is 4,36,710. Is that right? The same thing if I do it for 7 years, 15% return, the same 5,000, I'll be getting 7,16,807. The same thing I do it for 10 years at a 15% return, I'm earning 13,15,009. This is how I want you to look at the numbers. Don't go by what people tell you. Look what is an average returns are. Average we would be able to get between 15. That's what the average you would say it. Some of them would do very well, but you should take an average of over a period of time. Now, how much do I need to invest in equity? There is a math for it. Because you don't want to take too much of risk, right? So in this example, I have a person's age is 40 years. 100 minus 40. So equity exposure should be how much? 60%. That's the math. So it keeps changing it. It's not constant, right? So you have to do your portfolio adjustment according to that. That's why you have to review your portfolio regularly. This will help you to do it.
Now it was changed 120.
120 is the latest one. Okay. Now, what is all of you have your card fund already created? It's in the process, already done. How many of you already created it? You're in retirement funds, your passive income. Muthu says already done. Fantastic. Round of applause for him. So all of you have to sit in one-to-one with him and have more understanding of that part of it. So early you start, you've seen my previous slides, how the numbers have played. You have to see the numbers. It may look little, people who are not used to seeing the numbers, it may look too much, but keep looking at them. Paying attention to it will help you out to analyze it. Even if you have not started it, never late. Start now start with the small amounts. Now, this is an inflation. All of us are aware of inflation. What's the current inflation we have in India?
7%.
Average. Yeah, it's playing around 6 to 4 to 6. That's an average. So if you look at 5 years ago, the ordinary shoe would have costed us how much? 500. Now everybody of us look for a branded companies. The cost is around 5,000. If you see the average increase in 5 years, how much it's gone up? 1,000 times. The same thing, Titan watch, we are not so keen on Titan watch. We want Tommy Hilfiger. So how much is that costing us? 7,500. Growth is 500. Are we prepared for this inflation cost? The value of what we buy today is not the same thing. It could be for the same thing. I'm taking up a little higher example. It could be for grocery. A cost of 1 packet of milk or 1 liter would be 32. Will it be 32? It will increase, right? The same thing. The medicine also, it's 500. There's no now you've seen how much the cost is if you are hospitalized. The cost is so expensive. So you need to be prepared. I've given you other numbers to look at it. This is the cost. The school fees was 5,000. Now it's almost 5 lakhs. It's 4,000 percent increase on it. Normal mobile would have cost 3. Now we are not happy with the ordinary phones, right? We want iPhone that will easily cost you 1 lakh. That's almost like 3,300 percentage increase. The scooter and motorcycle, we are not so keen on it. Now we all want a car which will cost you 25 lakhs. An average middle class families, the cost is almost 1,500. Bedrooms, and it goes on, right? It could be for your marriage, foreign vacations, foreign studies. All these expenses is increasing. There is no standard, right? It keeps going up. So are we prepared for it? Now, this is a very interesting math. I want you to pay a little attention. I will not go through all of them. The main focus is if you see of this example, if you're contributing 50,000 every month, if you see the math for every year, how much it's going up. What I want you to pay attention is, on this example, if you're putting 50,000, for you to reach your first crore, how many years it's taking you?
9 years.
9 years and 3 months. See for the next one, how long it'll take you? Almost half of the first one. See the third one, how it's going up. It's getting lesser and lesser. The idea of showing this graph is, once you reach your 1 crore, there is no stopping. Focus on achieving on not the ultimate of 10 crores. The first crore is the biggest challenge. Once you've achieved it, there is no stopping. Go with the smaller numbers, but look at long-term perspective. If you have been patient for that 10 years, 9 years and 3 months, you will achieve your goals much higher than what you planned for it. So that's what, but this has been calculated based on 50%, 15% returns, So this is what I want you to look at it. One person can do without any loans or borrow. Entire world or even India. Only one person will do this. One person can invest for long terms. Only one person can delay your gratification. Can develop, one person can only have the patience to be there long. If you see the statistics, after 1, 3 or 4, 5 years, most of 99% of them will drop out. Only the one person who retained will make the wealth of it. The same thing for achieving your financial independence. This has been said by D. Muthu Krishnan. How many of you know this person?
Not me.
You want to be the 1% or you want to be on the 98%, 99%. It's a choice you make. That's how your financial will be there. And this is something which I think all of us important to look. In my next slide, you'll have more important part to understand. If you do not understand any of this, it's not rocket science. It's very simple math. Do it yourself. If you are not comfortable with it, hire an advisor. If the advisor is giving too much of information and you are not able to take it, not able to understand it, find a one which you think is suitable to you. That's how you'll go with it. But one good thing with an advisor is, they will be with their journey, not somebody who just advise you for one piece of it. It should be for all your goals. If you have them, they'll become your mentors. They will push you to achieve whatever goals you have planned because they've sat and do the review regularly with you. This is the last information of the time. It's a rule of thumb. Invest in yourself will help you to learn more, and this will help you to earn more. Absolutely right. Whatever field you are in. Spend less than you earn. First, put it aside. Don't spend all of them. Put it aside whatever proportion you want. Some part of it to savings. And then emergency fund, which we discussed, to have 8 to 12 months of expenses. Where do you keep this fund? In a more safer one. Liquid, it could be under your mattress, could be a fixed deposit, which you need it immediately, right? That's where you will do it. You will not do it. Risky investments. It could risky investment. I'm talking about in equity or mutual funds of equity, and avoid going into loans, which could be a personal loan, credit card, and this should not cross more than 30% of whatever income you earning. For example, in the previous slide we had 1 lakh. 30% more than that you should not do it. 30,000 that is. And insurance, we talked about it. What should be your coverage part of it? Did I skip on that? Yeah. The insurance, what should be the coverage? We talked about it, which will be your health insurance and your term insurance. That's one thing. Avoid the personal credit. And rule of 72, all of you know what is rule of 72 is? How long it will take you to double your money? Depends on return. So to achieve that,
4 to 5 years.
so to achieve that, you need to have how much it is? 72 divided by the returns, you will get number of years. 72, let us say somebody want to do it, they can do it. 72 divided by, let us say in my previous example was 15. That many years it will take you to double your money. Rule of 72, focus on that. That will be the big number to look at it. And how much risk can you tolerate? You will know that you are the best person to analyze and fit in that. And compounding is what we discussed in the previous slide, not to borrow, but be patient to wait for long-term perspective. Invest in simple, manageable stocks and don't diversify too much. What does it say? If you're doing a portfolios of even equity, not to cross more than 10 funds. If it's mutual funds, it's already diversified. Don't over diversify it. 5 funds is what you need to look, whether it's mutual funds or ULIP. Money need less than 5 years. Don't invest in risky portfolios. Invest in fixed deposit, recurring deposit, or bonds, debit bonds. It could be corporate bonds. Money needed, we've already spoke about it. Funds and enough money is, how much is enough money? Is 30% of your annual expenses at a decent target. In the previous example, we had 1 lakh, which will be 12 lakhs per annum multiplied by 30. How much is that? Who's good in math? 6 crores is what? You need to be prepared for your passive income, which is your retirement one. Are you prepared for it? You only can say that, self-analyze. Rule, all of this will supersede, stay healthy. That's the real wealth, end of it. It should be in this order. This is what we talk about it, to be in that order. So this is just basically an advisory thing, basically. Mutual funds or ULIP funds are subject to market risk. You have to be careful on which investment scheme you have to invest in. And that's about it. Thank you for paying a close attention. Any questions you have, more than welcome. If it's crossed my 45 minutes, we'll stop. Otherwise, we'll take 2-3 questions. You had a question. Your future value, whatever funds you've created, whatever number of years you're looking at, in taking into consideration the inflation part of it. I have an Excel file with details. I don't think I didn't want to do it now because it's personal and then it will take a lot more time doing in one-to-one. I have an Excel file beautifully designed with your budget, what's the future cost and how do you create your retirement funds. That file also I have it, how much you have it now and how much you should accumulate it. That file is there. I can share with you. Whoever reaches to me on my personal window, I'll share it. You have any questions, I'll be more than happy to sit with you on a one-on-one. And that's about it. This PPT was done by my daughter Aisha. She wanted me to specifically say I thank her for doing that. And thank you so much for...
We can see a lot of cartoons.
Oh, you can. So you know that. The credit goes to my daughter. And thank you so much for coming in here and listening to me. I hope this gave you at least 1% of more than what you learned.
Wasn't there? Making charge, receiving charges.
Wastage charges.
Okay. But buying same gold in ETF. Okay. See, if you want year day by day, you buy. That is like I buy a coat. Like similarly, you need gold. But people are buying in 307, 207, putting locker fees also.
Every 5 years, there is a jump of 30%, 30%. So something which would cost you 22,000, if you start at 40, will come up to close to 1 lakh. If you do over 60, probably will come up to almost 2 lakhs and above. So early start.
Anyways keep increasing.
No, it's in term insurance, in life, not general insurance. This will be the same throughout your plan once you've taken it. Companies accepted it, by default it's there the same. That's the beauty of it.
If you cross 30 years, sir, you have to mandatorily go through treadmill test, all that. But when you are less than 25, less than 30, only blood test sufficient.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
No, I've undergone it.
no, there are certain see, there are exceptions are there for each situations. We can talk about it.
Exactly.
So it cannot, how to handle it. See, that's what we are specialized in. We don't just go and log into the policy. We just see what are the structure of the portfolios, whether they're financially eligible, whether their health issues, what it is. We guide them accordingly and then what they need to take. That's what we specialize in. He in fact had a very good example of one of his employees past and how he got them the term insurance. All of us in surrounding our families or neighbors, we have seen the situation, how the family will suffer. So the first steps in any of your pyramid, once you start earning, is do the health insurance. The second part is term and then start with the savings plan. With this, I'll close unless somebody has a question. The owners, but I'll come to that part of it. So my suggestion is, once you leave the company, you don't have any coverage. So what we suggest is, good you have a company. You will not be married to the company. You will come out of it, do whatever you need to do, have one personal one. If you as an employer want to give it to your employees, instead of doing a group insurance, what I suggest, do an employer-employee. The reason being is, if you have a key organization, a key person in your organization, you want to retain them. You want to retain for a longer term. This is one of the perks to be given out. What happens with group insurance, every year it changes. In pandemic, we've seen people were rejecting left and right, not accepting scenarios like that. But if you have an employer and employee, it comes into play the same way how group insurance works. Maybe the premiums will be slightly higher. They don't change year on year. They will be the same thing throughout the life of that employee. And if he leaves your organization, you can give it to him, assign it to him. If he wants, he can continue to pay. So that option is there. That is way more in a giving nature if you're willing to look at that part of it. But group insurance is there. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.